What's up, everybody? Welcome to 580's podcast, the Commerce Circus, where we aim to entertain first and educate second, if at all. We're sitting down with commerce marketing's best, brightest, and most disruptive. I'm Mike Batiste. I'm your host for today, joined by my co-host, James Dean. So we like to kick it off simple, straightforward. We get started with the layup line. Quick questions, quick answers. That's key. Make sure you all heard that. Quick questions, quick answers. This is going to be for everybody, so we'll do this order. Eric, you'll answer first, Liz, Dre, and then Bria. So first question, Eric, goes to you first, and then in that order. Which advertiser won the Super Bowl? Why?
I want to say that it's the couch potato spot, okay? And here's why. The one downside is I can't remember if it's Pluto or Freevee. I just know it was one of those two. So I guess that's kind of a miss there. But when I first saw it, I was like, isn't that kind of a dig against the people who watch that? Aren't you implying a certain degree of like sloth or lethargy or pointlessness? But then I was like, no, actually, that's the term couch potato has gone from being a negative to almost being sort of like a positive, in that it's like a sense of sort of release and relief and comfort. When you can go into couch potato mode, that's like your happy and your comfortable place. So
I love that mode.
Yeah.
Now, this is me playing you off. This is the orchestra. Appreciate it.
Oh, that's right.
Liz.
Whoa!
Same question, Liz. Which advertiser won the Super Bowl and why?
Without a doubt, Sarah V, because Michael Sarah was the best celebrity spot. It made the most sense, hilarious. I feel like spoke to me and my generation. Although I can't get the Temu commercial out of my head. It played
the jingle
7 times during, and it was the same spot, just over and over.
Nice. Dre?
I'm going to go with Duncan, with the Duncans.
Duncan, baby.
Yeah, I think that they did an awesome job. You always expect good comedy out of Super Bowl spots. You always expect a ton of celebrities, but the unexpected is what helps it win. So that had a couple of things of unexpectedness that made it win.
Is that going to be like the sleeper Halloween costume 8 months from now?
For sure.
They sold out. They sold out already. That merch just sold out.
Oh, they were selling that?
Yeah, they sold it and already gone.
Plenty of great costumes still on the rack, though.
Which advertiser won the Super Bowl and why?
I'm going to go with Verizon and Beyonce, because Beyonce hinted at a country album, which caught people by surprise. Beyonce's never done country music, so she's definitely going to break the internet with this one.
I like it. All right, now we're warmed up, so let's meet today's guests. Who are you? What is your role? What is your biggest fear about being on this podcast? Let's keep the same order. Eric, you go first.
Okay, senior copywriter for 580. I think my biggest fear is rambling on too long and not realizing it, because I love to talk about advertising. Like I'm
Good
doing
answer. Liz?
Liz Carlton, Group Account Director here. My biggest fear is that I'm going to say something offensive about a potential future client, a la Io saying something about J-Lo in her past and then hosting Saturday Night Live the same night that J-Lo was a musical guest. So I'm going to proceed with caution, but still,
Somewhat safe for work. I like it.
Yes, safe, but still honest.
Dre?
Hello, Dre Zuniga, Executive Creative Director. Biggest fear of this? Man, there's one, but there's a real one, but it doesn't apply. It's to curse too much, so I'm going to try to rail it in, mostly because my mom was French, but the advantage of it is my mom doesn't speak English, so there is a little bit of inside guilt, but not outside consequences.
All right, we'll do it for Mom. Bria?
I'm Bria Robinson, Senior Account Executive at 580. I would go with what Dre said, just cursing a little too much. Not all of you have heard me curse, so it might be a little curveball.
I definitely have it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep my posture. I'm not going to say too much, but don't.
Can you just
Don't be
get one
Rein
out
it
of the
in.
way now? Because the suspense is killing me.
Let's do this. I'll hit you guys with a few more layup questions. We'll go around, and if you feel so inclined to throw in a little F-bomb or something, by all means do. Let's keep the order the same. Brief questions, brief answers. Eric, Puppy Bowl
brief.
or the Cat halftime show? What are you going for?
Totally Puppy Bowl.
Why? Why over the Cat halftime show? What did the cats do to you, sir?
Nothing. My wife's allergic to cats. We have dogs. It's a little bit more identifiable. We also like to support animal rescues, and I know that all the pets in the Puppy Bowl are up for grabs. And I also think they've done a nice job of kind of integrating just random surprise other animals into it, like the hamster blimp and the like the kitten referees and stuff. Wonderful show.
Nice. Liz, Puppy Bowl or Cat halftime show?
Puppy Bowl all the way. Cats just aren't for me.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Dre?
Puppy Bowl for sure. Definitely dog over cats, mostly also because my wife's allergic to cats, so little contact on cats.
Everybody knows somebody. In my family, I'm the someone. I'm the one who's allergic. Bria, Puppy Bowl or the Cat halftime show?
Puppy Bowl, hate cats.
No love for the cats today. I also appreciate that nobody chose this opportunity to drop their first F-bomb. That's probably
Fucking puppies.
probably wouldn't have been a good placement. Let's do reverse order this time. We'll start with Bria. Is the NFL better for Taylor Swift's brand, or is Taylor Swift better for the NFL brand?
Ew. Taylor Swift is better for the NFL brand.
It
That was
can
a tough
feel
one.
that way at times, for sure.
Yeah.
Dre, what do we think?
Same T Swift for the win for the NFL here. Yeah, I think the NFL is benefiting from that. Even all the fashion merch deals are coming out of this. New designers, new jackets, like the whole expansion of what it is. I love the memes on this is Taylor Swift show with Usher as a guest, and then what's football. So great memes out there.
All right, Liz, who was
Yeah.
better for who, Taylor or the NFL?
I have to agree. I think Taylor is better for the NFL. I don't have the numbers at hand, but I do believe that viewership has gone up significantly.
Oh yeah.
Plus, there's like
123
all these
million, 0.4.
super cute videos of dads asking their daughters like about specific plays and specific football things that I don't know all the details of, and they just know it. Little girls are learning football.
Eric, what do we think?
I agree with Liz. I think you're a lot more likely to get Swifties watching the NFL than you are to get like grizzled old former high school football coaches bopping down to the local Sam Goody for a Taylor Swift CD.
Wow, you're dating yourself
Sam
there.
Goody.
You know what's interesting, Eric? In the next year, we're going to know for sure if that assumption was correct, right?
Absolutely.
If the next tour needs 35 extra dates to accommodate all of the aging men, well, then we'll know which way it all goes.
Well, let's see what streaming looks like on the Eras tour when it hits.
Indeed.
Yeah, her new album is gonna crush everything.
Yeah.
Crush.
All right, so moving on, our next segment is called Somewhat Safe for Work. We've got some questions about current and past work that you've done, as well as what it's like to work in commerce and what it's like to work at home remotely. So all that we ask here is to do your best and not violate any MSAs or NDAs, or pretty much let's just avoid calls from clients and lawyers and would-be clients and their legal teams as well. So let's jump right in. Jimmy?
All right, first question. We'll start with Eric. What is the best part and worst part of working from home?
I think the best part of working from home is that it kind of eliminates that hard edge between work life and home life. I find it a lot easier to just keep concepting on something even after I've signed off for the day, because it's like this is my home and it's also my office, so I'm always kind of inspired to keep thinking about things. I think the worst thing is the same situation. It's difficult to maintain a work-life balance because it's so easy to just, pick up whatever you're working on or whatever's due, next week and just work ahead because it's literally right there. And why wouldn't you? That sometimes you lose sight of how long it's been since you've been out of the basement.
Love it. Liz.
Best part is that I'm here and I can handle, like, I'm going to throw in a load of laundry. I'm going to do a few little things here and there throughout the day. Worst part, agree with Eric. You're always at your office. I mean, sometimes I don't ever leave the office throughout a day. And our clients know we work from home, so we're always in office. And that can sometimes be a little tricky.
Yep.
All right, Dre.
Best part is sweatpants and hanging out with your dog.
100%.
Yeah, and summertime shorts. It's just inappropriate for work, but at home is kind of cool.
Work is only from the waist up.
Right. Also pretty good to be able to spend some family time when needed. But yeah, the worst part is the off button sometimes just doesn't work. It just, you keep hitting it, it just doesn't happen. So you just kind of keep going and make things work. But
you should try updating to the latest operating system.
Yeah,
they have a new switch for that. Yeah. All right, Bria.
I would say the ability to work from wherever. I love traveling. I love being able to visit friends and work from their houses, my parents, just anywhere. So I think that's the best part. The worst part would be just being a little too comfortable working at home. Sometimes I'm like, wait, did I go outside and take a walk, get some vitamin D? So I think that's a little difficult. So yeah.
I love it. All right, next question. And Tim will not be issuing out any surveys after this question or anything like that. So speak freely. What technology do you hate the most and or love the most? You could choose which side. You don't have to answer both. Choose whether you want to talk about which technology you hate or which technology you love. Bria, we'll start with you.
So just one. We don't have to do both.
Yeah, just one.
Just one.
Love Apple Pay as you go. I always forget my credit cards or whatever, and then it's embarrassing if it's like, crap, I don't have that. Looking behind you to see if someone else has you, but instead you have your phone that comes in handy, and you can just pay right there. Love it.
I'm too afraid to use Apple Pay. It's like
Me too.
On my phone when I'm doing a digital purchase, I'll use it all the time. In person, like I see people handing over their phone, I'm like, no, I'm gonna mess it up somehow. I'm like hit a button and clear it, and the guy's gonna have to hand it back to me, and then I bail out.
Mike's counting change. Mike's definitely counting change. Dre.
Technology. I'm loving where AI it's going with. Like, my kids love art, love drawing, and sometimes you just scan it and it turns into this magical creation that they get to see it. So it's cool for some parts of utilizing that for not work stuff but fun stuff.
Love it. Liz.
Okay, knowing that we're not going to get written up on this call,
yeah, give us some juice here.
I'm like Apple all day long, but let's just let go of Keynote. Okay, let's just forget about it.
In one fell swoop, you just irritated 90% of the people that work here.
Yeah, that's fine. Anytime I have to then go in and make edits to a deck, it's like, please just make it. I've been using PowerPoint since, the dawn of time. Since
you came from the brand side. It's not your fault. They did you wrong.
I know.
All right, Eric.
Actually, I'm gonna integrate this with the previous question. One of the things that I like about working from home is the ability to invest in my own tech stack and find new things that work. And I've got two pieces of tech that I'm currently enamored with, and one of them is real simple. It's kind of the intersection of digital and analog. It's called the Rocketbook, and this is it's a notebook, right? But every page has a little QR code at the bottom, and you can set that QR code up to do whatever you want.
Cool.
The way this typically works is you write in the notebook, and then you scan it with your phone, and the QR code directs it to convert all of the things that you've written to editable text, and then it'll upload it to whatever platform you want, whether it's Google Drive or Teams or whatever. So you can do drawings, you can take notes. The other thing that I'm totally in love with right now that I've just got for Christmas is called a loop deck. And what this is, I actually, I was going to recommend that maybe the agency look into distributing these, because it's absolutely incredible.
What better way to do that, Eric, than a podcast? I love it.
Is this when the ticker goes by, like not sponsored by Rocket?
Let's see what it is first before we sign up for distributing it. Yeah,
it's USB, because USB-C. But when you plug it in, each one of these little glass windows here is actually a touch screen, and each one of these little knobs is a push button and a knob, and then you've got these, and it is application aware, meaning if I turn on, say, Adobe Premiere, the loop deck knows that Premiere is open, and these buttons will populate with some of the most popular commands that you have for Premiere. I'm going to use this actually for streaming, because it's also native aware with OBS Broadcast Studio, and you can have like different scenes, like if I wanted to have an opening graphic, or if I wanted to cut away to here's Eric with the weather, and there's a graphic package that you've got set up. I don't know.
It's like a super complicated
when did you become an investor of
steer kind of thing?
I don't know. I think this would really help with my keynote.
Wait! I have a follow-up question to that. So let's talk, because there might be a role, Eric. You tell us. You seem like you're a part of the board on that product and brand. But when it comes to remote presentations, does that help or hurt?
You mean like presenting to a client remotely?
Yes.
You can actually. This thing is entirely programmable, so you can set it up to do whatever you want. You could have like animation play buttons. Yes, exactly. Once again, that's the Loop Deck from Loop Technologies, available now on Amazon. Click the link in the podcast below. But I mean, the customization, you can make your own icons, you can make your own functions, your own sort of toolkits.
That's awesome.
I'm absolutely in love with this thing. And just out of the box, you can control your computer's volume with it without having to do anything.
Perfect.
There's a feature that really sells it. It's certainly the volume knob.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit more about the work side. What is one thing you wish your team knew about your role? Liz, we'll start with you.
Oh boy,
we're getting deep now. We're way past layup line.
I think one of the things that's sort of related also to remote working too is we don't get a huge perspective on what people do day to day. Now, we're in an industry where like there's no normal day to day, things shift, but it's easy to say like these are the projects that I'm on and what I'm working on, but it's hard to get the perspective on like what's really ticking away at the hours of my day when I'm not in a meeting with you. Sometimes that's easier when you're visibly in a space and people pop in and see some cuckoo Excel spreadsheet on your computer or your shopping cart. I don't know.
That's not keto.
So, yeah, I think that's one thing that I don't know how we get that perspective out to everyone, but just the how I'm spending my time.
I love it. Bria.
Ooh.
We're going to outside first.
I would say that I do not know everything, because a lot of things that are asked requires direction from the client.
Yeah.
So it's, hey, Bria, can you give us that direction? I say, I can't give it to you because that's coming from the client, but I will discuss with the client. So it's just constantly asking, well, what does the client mean by that? I don't know, but we can ask the client that. So just knowing that I don't have the answers for everything, but I will do my best to get those answers.
Follow up and integrate.
Yeah, you do a great job of that too. Shout out to you. You always find what we need, and I'm grateful for that, for your diligence.
Thank you.
Yeah, the flip side was working with Jimmy, where he was like, "Oh, this is the answer to that." We're like, "Dude, there's no way you know that. You're just making it up.
Well, he knows.
We got to
Okay,
talk
thank
to
you, Mike.
somebody
Thank
else."
you, Mike. Dre.
There's two things. One, that you always have to be on, right? Like, so there's no, like, every meeting need to be fully on to, one, make decisions, because those decisions could impact a big thing from a ripple effect standpoint. Two is that you have to, the amount of useless knowledge that I might have, it's wild that I'm not even aware, because you got to be a little bit of an expert in different categories, in different products, and different things, how they work, why they work, history, what's happening, the business side of things, all this stuff. So there's a lot that's in here that sometimes I even forget. But yeah, there's a lot of mental exercising all day
New
long.
Fun Facts by Dre is going to be a new series that we're going to start within the agency. All right, Eric, how about you?
I wish my team knew about the clear graphics and crisp haptic feedback designed into every loop deck. No, I think one of the things that I struggle with sometimes is that being the writer here, copy is, in my opinion, a subset of creative, but it's also the subset that carries with it a set of rules and sort of guardrails. It's like an extra difficulty level, because with design you've got a lot more freedom, because you can make something beautiful and it's difficult to sort of clearly define what that is ahead of time. But with copy, a lot of times, just because English language, there's a book, the dictionary, and you go to the grade school. Since grade school, you've been learning what the rules are and what the rules aren't, and there are character counts. And I think sometimes I feel like I'm not delivering as quickly or as elaborately as I want to, simply because English has rules that I have to follow, and there are character counts. And sometimes I feel like I'm coming across sometimes as the wet blanket, while they're all able to run free naked through the fields and play with the butterflies and the flowers. It's like, I have to do the chores of following the English language,
You'd be surprised how much English I've gotten away with.
Yeah. So
if only there was a solution from Loop Deck for some of that.
As it turns out, James Dean, I'm glad you asked about that.
The last question in this segment is, what is the dream brand you wish you could work with? Dre, we'll start with you.
That's a tough one. Either could be a little bit of both, a little fashion brand and some athletic brand. So maybe you will go with, like, I don't know, a Nike type of thing. Like there's just good stuff. So we'll leave that answer right there. A little bit of fashion, a little bit of sports.
Bria.
I'd say Target.
Ooh, let's go. We'll talk. I'm a big Target.
They have everything you need.
All right, Liz.
I'm gonna go Goop. I love a good celebrity endorsement. I'm a big GP fan. Love health and wellness, skincare, all of it. I'm here for everything they have to put out there, even if I can't afford it. So I would really like a discount on some of their products, which would help.
This is just the episode of plugs. That's great.
Yep.
That's awesome. Perfect. All right, Eric, how about you? We already know your answer, but
no, surprisingly, I'm going to break character here. Oddly enough, my dream brand is Koenigsegg, and that's a supercar company that really doesn't have to advertise, because they make so few of them and they're so ridiculously expensive. But there's such a cool brand story there. The guy that started the company, Christian Koenigsegg, is like this mad, wealthy genius living in a castle who's like, I'm going to build the finest supercar the world has ever seen. And he did. And, there's not a ton of them out there, but they're all so incredibly advanced, and they're super sexy, and they're, at least 7 figures. But I think that would be a cool brand, simply because of the technology and the history that they have, but also because I might actually be able to sit in one. or drive one.
That's awesome. Talk to Mike Batiste about putting that on your next expense report. I think he's got room in the budget for that.
Yeah, no, I heard
1.2
that
million.
you want to work with like super premium brands that have even tighter guidelines on their copy so that you are absolutely just in the most narrow lane possible. Makes total sense. Feels
Exactly.
like your personality. Awesome. Thank you guys. So, I mean, look, we want to get to know you a little bit more as the person, each one of you, and there's a million different ways to do that. And we try something different every episode. So this episode, we're going to ask you questions about shopping and some other work-related questions and see what we could dig out about each and every one of you. So the question is, what's the best gift you've ever bought for someone? And what made it the best gift? Dre, let's start with you.
It's a super random gift, but it's a bedroom set. So at some point, when my wife and I were just kind of dating, I was not ready to propose. I also didn't have the money to propose, but it got to a point of like, it's soon enough. Either you gotta move in or not. So basically, buying a beautiful new bedroom set became the transition to a whole new adventure.
That was your version of a promise ring. I love that.
Yeah, that was
Awesome.
With this ottoman ivy wed.
All right, Liz, what's the best gift you've ever bought for someone?
That's such a tough question. I do enjoy giving people gifts. It's just fun in general. I don't know if this is the best one. My memory is sort of escaping me right now, but one of the latest gifts I've given was a print of the original Bob's Big Boy restaurant to my mom, who is an ultimate Bob's Big Boy fan. If you're not familiar, it's the 1950s burger guy holding the burger from Austin Powers. She has an original statue in their living room. So it was fun to find something unique when she already has basically everything else that you could have.
Much. That's great. Bria, what's the best, most meaningful, most interesting gift you've ever bought for someone?
I'm crafty. So I would say for my boyfriend and I's anniversary, I printed out pictures and then I would write just a note about why I love that picture, where we were, what we were doing, just so he can go through those pictures.
Stealing that idea.
Oh my gosh, this is what we did and how great it was and all that. So
beautiful.
So yeah, I think that's probably the best gift, just because it was handwritten by me. I have a great, handwriting, some great handwriting skills, but pictures were nice, came along great. So yeah, I would say that.
That's awesome.
Bria
that's
loves
tough
love.
to follow.
I do
great.
love
She
love.
curses and she
loves
That's
love.
great.
She's amazing.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say I'm fucking crafty, and that was gonna be your chance to get it out.
I could have done that. I could have said that.
Nice, Eric. I know that's a difficult one to follow, but what piece of shit off the shelf thing have you bought for someone?
You get your wife a loop truck?
Oh, that was a gift from my wife, actually. But I guess the best gift I've ever given was the first anniversary present that I gave to my wife because, I made her a card, obviously, but then I got her gift cards from all of her favorite places to shop. And here's what I like about that. There was an Easter egg hidden in there. Yes, homemade card. That's very sweet. But by showing her the different, including the different gift cards from all the different places, I kind of showed early on in our relationship that I understand kind of what she likes and what her preferences are. But the Easter egg is that the gift cards were all for weird amounts. And if you added them all up, it equaled the date that we met.
Did she get to that? She was able to put all that together? That's pretty impressive. I would have been like, yeah, no, this $16.47 gift card to Chipotle is awesome, Eric.
Yeah, exactly. This is what's left on the card, you cheap bastard.
It's re-gifted.
Yeah.
All right, real quick on the shopping side, what was your last impulse purchase? Liz, start with you.
Really expensive maternity overalls.
Let's go. What
Nice.
brand?
Don't go cheap.
Hatch. So we'll
Ooh,
see.
okay.
They're on the way. We'll see if they work out. But I figured if I'm gonna ever try and pull off an overall, it's
Now's the
gonna be
time.
now.
It's
Nice.
awesome. All right, Dre.
Pair of Air Jordans. Just been, yeah, just needed another pair.
Nice. Bria?
I'm gonna go with Usher tickets. Bought them yesterday.
Nice.
Ooh, there we go.
Mhm.
Eric, please don't say loop deck.
No. A USB 3 hub that's got individual switches on each of the ports, so you can turn things on and off, like lights or sound effects or things in the background by just pushing the button on the hub.
Nice. What campaign or commercial spoke to you most as a consumer, just in your life?
Oh boy.
I'm gonna let you guys think for half a second
Deep.
because that one's a little deep.
Does it have to be a campaign, or can it be a single ad?
No, single ad, campaign or commercial, just whatever it happened to be. So Eric, you seem to be circling the drain on something. You go first.
Well, I think my favorite, that spoke to me on many levels, was a billboard that I saw in Chicago for, of all things, Miller Lite. And it was 4-word billboard, and it just said nectar of the guys. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so brilliant, because that hits your target market head on, but it doesn't assume that they're stupid. It sort of has this eloquence to it that also at the last possible second comes sliding into base with this identification with the true consumer. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I'd written that. That's the best headline ever.
Love it. I love the interpretation of it too, because I'm sure there were a large number of females who saw it and were like, "Oh, great! Guys think they're gods now. That's wonderful."
I never thought about that, but you're right. You've
Dre,
crushed my dream.
sorry, Eric.
I'm biased to this one, but it's a campaign that I worked on mostly because I had a passion. It's telling the story of somebody that is real, that had passed away, but how do you bring them back to life in a way that it is storytelling, that you're crafting a story, that you're motivating people. So it was for Don Julio Tequila, and he was bringing the man back to life. So yeah, a few years back, but he was good being in that guy fields 2 a.m, seeing the sun rise up, and then from there, telling the story of why he planted a guy was in a certain way, why the bottle was designed a certain way. So there's a lot of like little storytelling that came through. And then the best reward out of that was that one of his state caretakers and the field guards, if you will, was like, man, he would have been proud of how you guys are representing him. So that really
That's awesome.
stuff. So yeah.
Bria, what campaign or commercial spoke to you the most in your everyday life as a consumer?
I would talk about a campaign that I have worked on because I honestly don't pay attention to TV enough to even tell you a campaign. But I would say I worked on a mental health campaign. It was spreading awareness to Dallas residents, both teen, men, women of all ages, and it included video commercials, a website, social media, and I think just the reactions we received from that just showed it worked. This campaign worked. It touched a lot of people. We got really good feedback from both the clients and Dallas residents. So just knowing where we are as a community, just society, and where people are with mental health, especially after COVID, just knowing how important that is. So it's just really nice to be a part of something like that.
Awesome. Liz?
So, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what was memorable to me, and there's so many different campaigns. I'm actually going to name 2, and this is sort of a hard follow-up after Bria's really impactful, meaningful campaigns. The first, I was inspired by what Eric said, and when he said billboard, and I was like, oh my God, the Forgetting Sarah Marshall campaign was like the first time I remember seeing billboards that just alluded to, it didn't give anything away. It really created this intrigue and nobody had any idea what they were talking about on them. And then the second campaign is so random, but I was thinking like, which ones do I remember so much? And it is the commercial for the Amigo car that used the Slinky jingle.
Yes,
and now I
remember
can't
that.
get that out of my head.
Amigo, amigo, and they're driving circles on the beach.
In pairs, yes.
Now I need to go buy an Amigo. Got to find a
You're
vintage.
going to have to explain, at least try to explain, one of the Forgetting Sarah Marshall billboards. I'm familiar with the movie, but
I mean, the thing is, I can't even remember what it was like phrases about Sarah Marshall, but it had nothing. You had no idea what these billboards were for, and you had to look it up. And I can't remember anything.
I got you, Liz.
I got you. Created like, you know,
some of the billboards say, "You do look fat in those jeans, Sarah Marshall." My mom always hated you, Sarah Marshall. You suck, Sarah Marshall.
Just all the worst things. I get it.
Yeah, like what you would think about. What if you were going to create a campaign that you just had billboards and you had a horrible breakup? Whatever you'd want to write on them was on these billboards.
That's awesome.
I like it. Awesome. Eric, Liz, Bria, Dre, thank you for your time, your transparency. You gave us some amazing hot takes and perspectives. What's more, you gave us a chance to get to know each of you as a person, as a marketer. And for that, much love, much appreciation. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Great to be a part of it.
Thank you.